So without further ado, let us say hello to our old friend, Ben Askren. Hey, Ben. How's it going?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing pretty well.
Long time no speak.
Yeah, has it really been that long? I mean, I know it's been a while, but it definitely.
I think it was like the Monday after the Jake fight, and that was in April, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And then you just kind of...
Way to bring it up.
No. I was just doing...
I'm messing with you.
Come on.
Hey, guys, you know what I did the other day?
Yeah.
So it's funny you asked me on, and I don't know if it was because of this, but I told everyone that I was right. I wrote a book, and I'm putting it out. And, it took a lot longer than I anticipated it would take, but we're doing kind of like final touches. I kind of read through every chapter as it was being done, and then, worked it out. And but after I read through it the last time, we were actually talking about the time that I was actually beefing with you.
Oh, yes.
In April of 2012. So guess what?
Oh, okay.
I went and looked up those tweets. Someone taught me how to look up old tweets.
Yeah.
So, and I want to be vindicated here. I never challenged you to a fight. No, I never challenged you to a fight. Here is what I said.
Give the people the context. What happened? Why did you tweet these things?
So, well, I mean, you might dispute this, but
yeah.
I think I was on your show before my Douglas Lima fight.
Yeah.
And then I think I was eating in the interview or something kind of rude.
Yeah, it was a little rude.
But so I think you were mad about it, or I also kind of crapped on the Canadian crowd. So maybe you're mad about that.
Nah,
hey, congrats on your American citizenship.
Thank you. How about that, huh?
We're medium happy to have you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
And so then you tore me apart on your Monday show, and I'm like, hey, WTF? I didn't know we had issues.
Was it a tear apart? Was it a tear apart, or was it like sort of just banter? Was it just like...
Yeah, you really tried to crap on me.
What did I say? What did I say? That it wasn't like a very exciting fight?
It's 10 years ago. I don't remember.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Seems like you're glossing over the main thing, but fine.
What I said to you was, I invite you to go in a cage with me. Other than that, I don't really want to do your show. Kiss my butt.
Okay, well, that's not an offer.
You kicked me off the show. You kicked me off the show.
No, I didn't.
Nah, I'm out.
What do you mean I kicked you off? What, I banned you?
You said I'm never having... Yes, you tried to ban me.
No, that's not true. Care. Listen, I've only banned people who don't show up when they say that they're going to show up, and I don't even do that. Oh, I mean, I have people coming on talking about crazy things all the time, conspiracies. I mean, it's a crazy time.
I saw conspiracies.
Yeah, a bunch of...
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was a fun... Now, does that make the book?
I think it is going to, because I thought so. I actually looked up a whole bunch of old tweets. The other one was when so I don't know if you remember this, but after my second fight and one championship, so I'd won the belt in my second fight, and Dana obviously did not offer to sign me when I left Bellator.
Yeah, and
then you had me on, and I don't know if he was on after me or maybe you interviewed him some other time, like really close to him. But he said, "Yeah, we would love to talk to Ben Askren now." And I was trying to remember what happened, and I said, "Oh, thank you, Master. At Dana White, can I please have a shot now?"
That was when you were really stirring the pot.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
what do you say? He'd rather see two flies.
That was way early. So that was
Sure Dog, right?
So no, that was that was even earlier.
Really?
So Sure Dog ran a story on me when I was having my debut fight in February of 2009. And I don't remember the card, but there was a UFC card that same day.
Yeah.
And Dana was pissed. I don't know if he knew me at the time or anything, because it was literally my first fight. And he said, "Why are you having this effing guy on your homepage when you should be having our fight?" Essentially.
Right. But then he said,
that was the first one.
Didn't he tweet the thing that he'd rather see two flies? When
that happened, and I get vindicated a lot. So
yeah.
I was vindicated on that too, because he essentially said that you can't drug test people. And I said, hey, that's nonsense, because USADA actually does it with all Olympic sports. And, wrestling doesn't have as many athletes as fighting does. But if you consider all of the Olympic sports, the rosters is big of the people who are being tested. And so then obviously a couple of years later, UFC would bring in USADA. So I was vindicated in that. But at that Dana really took issue with that. And that was when he insulted me all those times.
But now you guys are like super tight, right?
I don't know about that. I mean,
when's the last time you spoke?
I don't know, a year ago, maybe.
Oh, okay. You don't check in, you don't text.
I don't know.
What's the last text? Let's see.
It's probably it was actually before the Jake Paul fight.
What was it about?
I can't tell you.
Oh, wow. It's personal?
I don't know. Yeah, it's not. I mean, he was crapping on someone. It was not Jake Paul, someone else. I don't want to bring it up.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. This is actually making like this is fun. This is fun. I feel like we haven't. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Okay. So that was 2012 when we got that kind of beef about the USADA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, 2013 is when July of 2013 is when I finished my contract with Bellator. I didn't get an offer from the UFC even after, right? And this is all in the book.
Yeah.
And I had just gone through this all again after I had I got a full and unconditional release from Bellator. And then UFC said, nah, we ain't offering you. And so then I'd met Chatri, and so I got to deal with one championship. And then so I'd won that second fight. I did an interview with you, and I think he was on after, or maybe you went and asked him the question.
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, we'd love to talk to him now. And it's like, well, hey, dickhead, I just signed this long-term contract because you didn't offer me anything. You offered me literally nothing. So I signed this long-term contract, and now you're saying we'd love to talk to you. Like, kiss my butt.
Yeah, I remember that. You were actually Bellator champion, and they just let you walk, right?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well, they didn't let me walk. I had to work. I mean, so I didn't get released until my last fight was July 31 of 2013. And I didn't get my release till mid-November, right? Because they had that year-long matching clause.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and essentially the UFC had indicated, we're not going to make an offer because of what happened with Eddie and Hector previous to me.
Right.
We're not going to make you an offer. And so then, I essentially had to convince Bellator, I'm not going to come back. Like, are you going to look terrible and make me sit on the shelf for a year? Like, I'm not signing, essentially. Right.
Yeah.
And so finally I got a release. And so it's like August, September, October. Yeah. 3.5 months. Mid-November, I got my release. And then UFC said, and here's why I remember it, because I went to, me and Daniel Cormier actually had the same management, and we went to the UFC offices together. And it was the Monday after the John Jones Gustafsson fight. So I believe that was November
2013. Yeah. It was September of 2013.
Oh, was it that early?
Yeah.
Did I get released that fast? Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I remember that fight like it was yesterday. UFC 165.
Okay, let me see the date on this.
It's like September 27th or something.
September 21. Okay, 21. So wow. All right, so it took me 2 months to get released. Wow, I have lived my memory. You nailed it, Ariel.
You just wrote a book about this.
I
should be top of mind.
I guess I didn't look up the exact. So then they didn't make me an offer. And then
wait, why'd you go with DC to the office?
It was, I think he was just going the same day, and we had the same manager. So we met up at the airport and drove together, and then I had my meeting, and then he had his meeting, type of thing.
Oh, okay, you didn't go together.
Meeting together.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Well, we drove there together. We both went to the UFC offices. Bob Cook was there with us, right?
Yep.
He managed us both.
Yep.
Dwayne Zinkin, and yeah. So I think I had my meeting first, and he had his meeting second, and I left with, they essentially said, hey, we're not interested. And it was really annoying because I'd gotten my full release. So it's like, not like I could go back to Bellator. I pushed them for a couple months to get my release.
Right.
I had it then. Yeah.
Man, I have like 1,000 follow-ups just from that story alone. By the way, did you ever go to AKA because of the Zinkin Cook connection?
I went there a couple times, just kind of like in passing. A real funny story. This does not make the book, but, this was right after. So obviously Daniel and I were on the Olympic team together. And I remember Daniel was just like, he definitely had not had his first fight. I do not recall if I did yet or not. Maybe I had some fights earlier than him. I'm not sure. Anyways, he was living with Bob Cook still.
Yes.
And I remember I had my Adidas sponsorship from wrestling still, and his had like expired or whatever. Right. So part of the deal, this is so funny. Part of the deal was we get like $5,000 a year. And we could spend it. We're at like any Adidas outlet or anything, right? So it was like, hey, I still got my deal, DC. Hey, let's cruise over to the Adidas outlet and get a whole bunch of crap,
Yeah.
So his deal was expired, and we went and got a bunch of Adidas stuff with my $5,000 thing.
Wow, he couldn't even afford it, huh? Right? This guy's sleeping on
Yeah, I remember he was living with Bob Cook at the time, and I remember his first opponent because we were both joking about, was Singing Gary Frazier, I believe was his nickname. You remember that?
Of course, I broke the story, and I called him from the Apple store. It's the first time I ever talked to DC. My computer broke, and I got the news that he's fighting, I think, Strikeforce Challengers in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was. And I called him from the Apple store and wrote the story from like one of those computers that they let you try out. at the Apple store in Midtown Manhattan.
Oh.
Crazy, right? You're what are you fact checking me right now? Are you fact checking me?
Well, I'm seeing when it was to see if I'm seeing if I had fights at that point in time. So I had 3 fights then, because that was September 25, 2009. So I fought in February, I fought in April, and I fought in August of 2009.
Wow, this is great
So
stuff.
I think I made 2 or 3 trips to AKA and trained a little bit, just kind of, but I never spent like a couple weeks there.
Okay. You posted a great picture recently of you, DC, and Jason Kidd at the Olympics, and you said that.
Oh, that was a while ago. I couldn't find that picture though. I was looking for it another time when DC was referencing it. And I couldn't find it, and I just found it.
This picture is so freaking great because DC looks nervous, and in the caption you say that he was too shy to go up to the athletes.
He was too shy. He wouldn't do it. He's like, oh man, that's Jason Kidd. And then obviously I think there was other pictures too, but he was like very, very starstruck. So it was hilarious.
I think Kobe too, right?
Do it. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. That is amazing. So you were the guy. You were the wingman who was like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" But you probably didn't even care about these guys, right?
No, I didn't know nothing about basketball. So I'm like, I don't care. I'll go. Well, the other blunder I made at that Olympics was we were getting a president with picture with President George Bush, the wrestling team, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I'm blanking on what I had. I probably had a digital camera or something. It's 2008, right? I definitely didn't have an iPhone at that point in time. And I remember everyone's getting this picture, and there's this girl like, "Hey, you want to take this picture for me?" And she's like, "Sure, no problem." So I went and got the picture, and everyone's like, "Ben, do you know what you just did?" I'm like, "I have no flipping idea." Like, I don't know. We got a picture with George Bush, and it was I had asked Jenna Bush. I asked her to take the picture.
No way.
The president's daughter. Yeah, I didn't even know. I had no idea.
Did she do it?
Yes.
Oh my God. That is amazing.
I know.
That is amazing.
So dumb.
Well, what about DC calling some wrestling action? You see that?
It's awesome. Yeah. I was actually trying to get him in earlier because we got this Rudis super match. Jaden Cox and Kyle Snutter wrestling Wednesday night. So I thought he might want to come in for that. But I don't think he's getting there until Thursday night. I can't remember why.
I love that. I think he's going to be great. By the way, Gable Steveson, is he in the tournament?
Yeah, he's a legend, right?
I know he is a legend. He just won Big Ten again.
Yes.
Are you at all not disappointed, but are you bummed that he chose the WWE route off the bat as opposed to MMA? Do you feel like he should have done the opposite?
No, I think he's doing. I think he's been talking about the WWE route for a long time, and he's doing something that he really wanted to do. It was really cool that he came back to wrestling, and I haven't talked to him, so I don't know what his thought process is, but he won the pinnacle of wrestling is the Olympics. He won that last summer. And he decided to come back for, I don't know if you want to call it a victory lap or whatever at Minnesota. And everyone thought, hey, he's going to be just having a good time and he's going to be, busy with WWE. He's on freaking fire. He hit a new level this year. I mean, he is like kicking butt. It's pretty amazing.
I don't watch a ton of collegiate wrestling. Obviously, I know of him because of the Olympics, because of the WWE thing. Yeah. He's like a freak of nature, that guy. Like for his size, his speed, his athleticism. Yeah. So I'd love to see him in MMA, but he'll be going the wrestling route after all of this. Now, there's several things I wanted to talk to you about.
Hold on, but okay. Well, he's so young. So I mean, I want to say he's 21 or 22 right now still. So he could go do WWE for 5 years and be 27.
Yeah. It's the Brock route, right?
Yeah. So
essentially,
exactly. All right, what do you want to talk about?
What do you think of the main event on Saturday?
It was kind of what we expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I get annoyed about is like George wants to fight him after the fight, and it's like, listen, you just had 25 minutes to do like almost anything you want. Like you can't eye gouge and bite, and we got a couple rules, right? But not a lot. So you can do whatever you wanted for 25 minutes. And now you're going to act like you want more. Like, just, hey, you had 25 minutes. Freaking do it to him.
Right. You expected it to go that way? Decision, Colby,
I thought, obviously, George did clip him one time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a possibility because obviously he's had some good strikes in his career.
Right.
Land. And, but yeah, I thought it was way more likely that Colby just kind of controls him and beats him up.
Do you think that Masvidal is suffering from that thing that happens to a lot of fighters? It could be the thing where like you just make a ton of money and you kind of lose that edge, or his success came very late in his career and, he's fighting younger guys who are more well-rounded, who do something really good that he isn't as good at, the wrestling, right? Usman and Colby. Like what do you attribute the losing streak coming off that 2019 magical year?
This is who George was. Always. Never changed. Unfortunately, he nailed me. Because the Diaz isn't really that great. So, that was a great fight for him. But if you want to look back at his mixed martial arts career, and people can get mad at me, say whatever they want, but these are just facts. Like, look, he goes about, let's see. So he's lost 3 in a row. Before that, he won 3 in a row. Before that, he lost 2 in a row. Before that, he won 3 in a row. Before that, he lost 3 of 4. Then he won 3. Then he lost 1. Then he won 3. Then, it's like, this is how his career went.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's like, 35 and 15 or something. So, yeah, I mean, he's had some good wins. He's had some not so great losses. Colby's good. I mean, Liz, I don't really like Colby. You know what? Here, I'm going to give Colby some advice.
Please.
And this is good advice. Colby, actually, like, if Colby wasn't such a dipshit, like, he fights really hard.
Right.
Like, there's nothing to not really like. He comes forward. He works his butt off the whole fight. I think if he just said, I'm just a hardworking dude who likes wrestling and came from the Pacific Northwest and I like to fight hard, I think, like, he would get a lot better reception.
Man, like, to me,
you know what I'm saying? Like, just
I get it
after this time.
Well, look, that would be an interesting face turn. But to me, It's all right to come out with the flashy suit and the jewelry and be the obnoxious heel. It's fine. But there is a line. And like when he starts talking about Dustin's kid, I don't like that doesn't make me want to watch you fight.
I didn't see that part.
In the post-fight interview, he said, like, that's Connor's daughter. Bring that girl who's really like, it's just gross. That stuff is gross, man. Talking about wives, talking about kids. It's just gross. He doesn't need that. To your point, probably the second best welterweight in the world, right? Behind Usman. Tremendous talent, getting better. He's fine. Like, I don't see a lot of people beating him. What do you think of him calling out Poirier, though? A 55. I know he's got the beef there.
Great call out.
Is it a great call out?
Yeah, because it's a fight that, I mean, obviously been in the gym. He probably knows he's really, really likely to win it. Poirier's probably a top 10 name in the UFC at this point, given the fact that he's beaten McGregor twice. So huge name, easy win. You can't ask for anything better than that, right? And now if Dustin loses, he kind of looks like a chicken. Colby also can't call him out above him because he's already had 2 shots at Marty, so it's going to take him a while to get that shot. Dana said he could get that shot again, but it's going to take a little bit. It's not going to happen right away.
Now,
so it's like, who else are you going to call out?
Well, I mean, the obvious fight is the winner of Burns and Khamzat, right?
But again, like, so big attention.
Yeah.
Easy win. That's what you want.
Sure.
That sounds like it's neither one of those guys yet, I think, is as popular as Poirier. I think
if Khamzat beats Burns, you don't think that that's a massive fight?
But it's also really risky. I mean, if he beats Burns is good. So if he beats Burns, he's really good too, So I think Covington went the right way with that one.
Oh, sure, he went the right way, but I think it is actually tied to Khamzat, creeping up behind him, where it's like, I'm not going to put this guy over. Let me go fight someone who's 155 pounds. Has Kamaru exceeded your expectations? Can you say, like, this guy has actually ended up being better than
good, right? You know what? I thought he was good initially, and that was initially. He wasn't one of the guys I called out, like when I first signed. And then I don't remember what happened. I think I said Marty, like, not even like, just like that was who I knew him as,
Right.
I think I just said it like in an interview, and then he got all pissed off about it. And then obviously he came at me at that one press conference. So that was where that all got started. But I knew, hey, this dude's good. And again, if I could take an easier fight against, say, Darren Till or whomever, right? George, obviously it didn't turn out well,
right?
Fortunately. But those would have been easier fights than he would have been. But yeah, I thought Tyron was going to beat him. So that was really unfortunate. And obviously he's had a very good run. He beat Burns twice, Covington twice. There's probably someone out, George twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got a great run. So I think I really don't think Leon Edwards can beat him. I guess we'll see what Kazmat can do. Who knows?
Do you agree that he beats Canelo, right? Rather convincingly?
I mean, is this a real thing, or is this just like two people talking for attention?
Well, I think it's really kind of one way, to be honest, at this point. Like, I asked Canelo about it last week, and all he said was payday. But like, I think Usman is the one who's really trying to push for it. I don't really see a market for it at all.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just not his bread and butter. It's the same with Khabib. Like, no one wanted to see Khabib in a boxing match. They want to see him do MMA. Now, let me ask you this. The idea that I've been pushing is Masvidal, McGregor in November.
If we're looking at fights for Masvidal,
they're both on losing streaks. They're both big names, right? McGregor's huge these days, physically.
Yeah. Well, huge size-wise. Yeah, he's probably lost a little steam since he hasn't had very many wins recently. I that's good matchmaking. I think they should probably do that. I don't know where Nate Diaz fits into that mix.
Poirier.
He's a different direction every day. He's like, I'm leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm signing a new contract.
Yes.
So Diaz. Man, I like for Poirier. I don't know. I think he should try to fight for the title.
What title?
I don't get.
He just fought for the title.
Lightweight.
Remember against Oliveira.
But like, I understand, but Diaz doesn't put him back closer to that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, at this point, he's just trying to get big fights.
Okay, so then you can go that direction too. You can just say, okay, I just want the biggest fights possible, and I guess Diaz is that, sure.
Now, I don't
know. I just don't love it for some reason.
Why? They were supposed to fight like 3 years ago at MSG. Remember?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that excited about that, but sure, let's do it.
Fair enough. I wanted to ask you about Kayla Harrison because I feel like there's a lot of similarities to your situation back in the day, where she's getting a lot of money, but it's clear, given the competitor that she is. I mean, if we read between the lines, like she's not very happy about having to stay with the PFL. She wanted to go to Bellator. She wanted to maybe go to the UFC, but she's getting that big payday and she's balancing like legacy and security for her family. She just became a mother of 2. How do you feel about this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hard part for her is, to my understanding, she fights 155 pounds.
Yeah, but she can fight 45. She has fought 45 once before.
But UFC doesn't really have that division.
Sure,
that's the thing. Is like unfortunately, there's not a lot of girls who are that size. I mean, I guess Cyborg would be the best fight for her. And, now that Amanda Nunes lost to Juliana Pena, like, that obviously takes a lot of steam off her at the 145 division as well. So it's really challenging. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of girls that size that want to fight mixed martial arts. When you look through the rankings, drops off really fast.
But the big one was Cyborg at 45. Bellator made an offer. PFL matched it, and she's kind of bummed about that. Do you think she should have said to PFL, please let me go? Just like, don't match it. Do you think that's even possible?
Yeah. Sometimes that's hard in those types of situations.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, she maybe said that to them, but the business is business. The organizations don't really care all that much about your feelings or your legacy. Right. I mean, sometimes it goes your way. Sometimes it doesn't.
Are you impressed by her?
Man, it's so hard because I feel as though she's just so much better than everyone she fights.
Yeah.
So it's like, I would love to see her fight someone who is relatively similar skill level to her because, she's just killing everyone.
Do you think she beat Cyborg?
Probably. I don't know. Yeah, she's bigger. If she get the takedown. Yeah, I think it's a tough fight. So that would be a really good one to see. It's too bad they can't make it happen.
By the way, what do you think of Jorge's tattoo?
It's terrible. It's really like, oh God.
Why is it terrible?
It just looks like crap. Like that's something like a teenager gets, and you're like, oh shit. I thought that was gonna look a lot better. I thought this was gonna be really badass, but it looks kind of dopey.
Are you honored?
He's rich. He could go get the best tattoo artist in the place.
Part of you honored that you're like immortalized on his body, or no?
Hell no. I mean, I think it's semi-telling how important that singular moment was to his career, and he knows it, and he tattooed it on his body because it was that important to him.
Now, the main thing I wanted to have you on to talk about, believe it or not, is because you were the first guy, honestly, that I saw on my feed talking about Bitcoin. Like you're talking about Bitcoin.
Hey, let's do it.
I
love Bitcoin.
And then I see you always popping up. You're on like Instagram Live. You're talking. I watch for 10 seconds. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're doing all kinds of shows about this stuff.
We go on live on Twitter on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
When we did it,
it's all kinds of stuff that I still like. I had Kenny Florian on. He's big into it. I don't remember.
He was on our show one time.
Yeah, I don't recall a single thing he said to me about it. But it's now become a big MMA story because of this Marshall Rogan Inu.
Oh God.
What do you make of this?
I don't like meme coins. Meme coins are nonsense. I don't.
What is that? I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
A meme coin is like Dogecoin or SHIB. And, they are what they are. I view them kind of as a lottery ticket. Some people will buy them at the right time and the price will spike and they'll make some money off of it. And there'll be a bunch of other people that lose money on it. But to me, unfortunately, it takes attention away from Bitcoin. And there's other great projects, but I think the one we should focus on is Bitcoin, because just within the last 6 weeks, we've seen a couple really, really good instances of how Bitcoin is probably the most important monetary device that we've had ever for human beings.
Why? That's a big statement.
Well, why is pretty evident. I mean, so the Canadian trucker situation, your government's up there in Canada. I know I want to be American because the government's effing crazy.
Right.
They were freezing bank accounts of people who donated to truckers. That happened. And it's like, dude, Jeffrey Epstein still had a bank account. I mean, like, murderers still have bank accounts, but someone who chose to donate $50 to like the Canadian truckers gets their bank account frozen. Like, come on, man.
Is that 100%? Bitcoin, that's 100% fact?
Yeah, that's factual. Yeah,
okay.
You can look that up. Bitcoin is unsensible transactions. And so if I have my Bitcoin, no one can take it from me. You can't confiscate it. It's literally the first personal property in the history of the world that is unconfiscatable. So like your land, people can confiscate. Your cars, your gold can be confiscated. Your Bitcoin can't be confiscated. I have it on a cold storage wallet with seed words. And even if I were to smash it with a hammer and gone, if I have my seed words memorized, or, some people put them in different places and save a deposit box, whatnot, like I could buy a new wallet, type in the seed words and restore my wallet. Right. So if I was in a situation where there was a lot of political strife and I would say, hey, I have to get out of here. Right. So like in Charlie Lee, who's the inventor of Litecoin, for example, he talked about his grandfather trying to leave China because they don't let capital leave, with gold bars taped to his body.
Wow.
And the worry, because that was his wealth, and the worry of like, well, if he got caught, they were probably going to execute him. He talks about that, It's not like with Bitcoin. I could have my money on a cold storage device. I could remember the seed words. I could smash that thing so it's gone. And then I could go wherever I want. I get there, I buy a new cold storage wallet, I load the seed words, my wallet's back. No one takes my money.
So wait, why are you against this Marshall thing? Because fighters are getting paid. Well, I mean that's nice and all, but that's more of a marketing device than anything. So it doesn't have any of the same qualities. So Bitcoin is the king because it has all these really, really good qualities of what is good money. It has them. So like gold, historically, gold is the best money for a lot of reasons, and all the things that gold does, Bitcoin does better. Okay. And so, I'm concerned about, I'm not concerned about making a few bucks off a meme coin. I'm concerned about a monetary device that's going to change the world. That's what I'm concerned about. Do you think these guys are...
So the second situation, the Canadian truckers were the first situation. The second situation was the freezing of all, essentially they kicked Russia off the SWIFT system.
Okay.
Right. So they're, ordinary everyday Russians who have nothing to do with starting a war, and maybe they want it, maybe they don't want it. A lot of them probably don't want it, right? But all of a sudden, all of their assets and accounts are frozen. Like just everyday ordinary Russians are having their accounts frozen. They didn't do nothing. They're not convicted of a crime, right? They're not doing anything wrong, and their accounts are frozen. They can't use their accounts. They can't access it. So Bitcoin is unsensible money. If you want, and then the scary thing, if we want to go, and this is not really conspiracy theories. Actually, the Biden just put this out last night. America's looking for a CBDC. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm. Like CBD, like
central bank.
Oh, no.
No, central bank digital currency. So instead of printing dollars, they'll now do, and multiple countries are in the process of making this happen. They'll do CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, where your wallet, probably on your phone, will literally be hooked up to, the Federal Reserve in America. And there'll probably be some type of UBI, and they'll send you, there's, $1,000 of CBDC, whatever they call it, that, I don't know if it's going to be called a digital dollar or whatever. But there'll be all types of restrictions. Like, hey, Errol, you said something mean on Twitter. We're not letting you spend from your wallet in the next. They could do that. Or, hey, Errol, you're too fat. You don't get to go to fast food. Or, hey, Errol, these dollars are going to expire on March 30. And if you don't use them, you don't get to have them anymore. Right. So there's a lot of things that CBDCs, like, it's kind of scary. The amount of control they're going to have over how you spend your money. It's no longer going to be your money. They're going to have a a large part of the decision-making process how you're going to spend it. And if you have Bitcoin, that's your money. You're going to get to do what you want with it.
Okay, so is the Marshall Rogan thing a Bitcoin?
No, it's a cryptocurrency.
Okay. Again, I'm a real layman when it comes to this, but I guess my question is like someone like you that's so interested in this and they're helping the fighters and paying the fighters. Where's the harm? Or do you think that they're not being sincere?
So here's so the harm is, and I haven't done a ton of research, so I don't want to make exact statements.
Fair.
But there's obviously very, very many of these. Like they're not the first type of thing. And so they're helping the fighters. That's just their hook to get a bunch of people interested, right?
Okay.
And so essentially, what a lot of these do, and I'm not going to say them because I don't know for sure, but what a lot of them have done historically, they do something called a pre-mine. Okay, Ariel.
Okay.
So here's what happened. So Bitcoin started at zero. There was no when Bitcoin starts, there's zero Bitcoin, and you have to mine this, right? It's a proof of work system. You mine, and then so every 10 minutes there's another block, and you get more Bitcoin and more Bitcoin going to the system. The Bitcoin mining will go through 2140, and then all the Bitcoin will be created. Okay. With a lot of these other type of tokens, they essentially do some type of pre-mine. So they say, hey, I'm just gonna make up a number, right? There's 100 million ever. And right off the bat, they give themselves 50 million. Okay. And of that 50 million, they spend a whole bunch on influencers. Hey, we'll give you 50,000, you 50,000, you 50,000, whatever, right? They kind of give them away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they say, hey, we'll promote the token. And then, their idea is to shoot the price up, right? They shoot this price up by all this publicity and stuff like this. And then they have their tokens. So they allege that they gave all theirs away. But like I showed you on CoinMarketCap, it says it's self-reported, which means probably it's not verified anywhere else. And then they have all those tokens and then they sell them, right? So they get it to go from a 1 cent to 20 cents. Well, that's 20x. That's a lot of money, especially if you're holding all these tokens. So, right, they rug pull it, they sell a whole bunch of them, they make all that money, right? So that's kind of the scary part is, sure, they're giving this money away, but they're probably making a lot of it back because they're getting a lot of publicity. They're getting the price to go up. Essentially they're right. So if the price goes up and then they sell at the top, it obviously goes down, which I think is down like 50% in the last couple of days. So in order for it to get up there, people have to buy it at the top, right? I think it got to 20 cents. People are buying it at 18 cents, 19 cents, 20 cents. And these are regular everyday people. So if you sucker them into buying something that has no real value and you bought it at 18 cents and then it goes down to 10. Now you're like, damn, this is a regular everyday working dude who bought $500 and now they only got $250. That wasn't part of the deal, So that's why listen, I'm not even gonna say I think it's probably likely that there's a lot of shenanigans there, but the truth is there's been a whole bunch of these over the course of the last 5 years that I've been in crypto. Like you see them come and go like nothing. And then the other part of these fighters is like there's a lot of SEC regulations, and I think who was it? Someone just told me, I can't remember who it was. Someone got fined a whole bunch, like many millions of dollars for their participation in one of these.
Really?
It was Ja Rule, maybe. I don't remember who it was. It was someone with a large following. So some of these fighters who have 10,000 Twitter followers, hey, no one's probably going to bug you, but like maybe a Colby, maybe they'll bug him. I don't know.
Right. Do you think Rogan knows like when they're saying it to him in the cage that they're referencing his dog, or do you think it's because he like no-sells it every time?
Yeah, I don't know if he knows. So there was one that I kind of participated in it, but not really. There was these people who wanted to do an F Jake Paul token, or it's called F.
Oh no!
Right? Yeah. Well, I'm like, hey, I think it's shit, and so listen. I won't say anything good about it. I'll say it's shit. I said, listen, I don't understand why people buy shitty meme coins, but at least this one has a good name.
Yes.
That's all I said. Is like, at least it has a good name. I don't know why anyone wants to buy this. It's crap.
Hey, Jake.
But at least it's got a good name.
He's fighting for fighters.
Jake Paul sued them.
He did.
So,
oh, damn.
They never put it out. Yeah.
Do you like what he's been doing? He's kind of fighting for the fighters. He's poking the bear. I mean, he's come a long way from
hard to tell whether he's really sincere about it. Okay. Maybe he is, and if he is, that's great. And if he's just doing it for publicity and
what do you think
behind it, then there's probably some people behind him who have extra incentive to poke that bear.
Okay. When he beat Tyron twice, did that kind of take the heat? Did he take the heat away from you a little bit though?
No, it still sucks. I still lost to fucking Jake Paul. It's terrible.
I feel like now the Tyron knockout is like seen more and attached to him more than your knockout.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get knocked out. I didn't stand up, and that referee wouldn't let me continue.
That's right. That's right.
The ref's annoying. We also maybe got him off the ropes, and I'm like, hey, I got this dude against the ropes. Like, let me at least hold him here for a few seconds and try to punch him a few times. Like, why you let him off the ropes so easy? I've watched freaking Frank Mir and the other dude. They pretty much wrestled the whole third period,
right?
Or fourth round. I said period. Third round, fourth round, whatever it was. No, I mean, obviously, Jake's probably a little better than all of us anticipated, unfortunately. So I guess we'll see how far he can take it. And it's pretty evident that he's, at least like kind of good at boxing.
I could see the pain in you.
It sucks. Well, it sucks, and that's what sucks is like, I had to take the brunt of it. Like, I didn't know how good he was. I'm like, F it, I'll go fight this dude. I don't care. And everyone else, like, they all like, I'm kind of like indifferent to Jake Paul. Like, I don't really care what you do. I didn't know you before that.
Yeah.
Whatever. He kind of, we were antagonizing each other. Hey, whatever. I'm out. I don't care. Whatever. But other people like hate his freaking guts. And so they hold it against me that I let him beat me. And it's like, listen, I didn't know how good he was. And I wish I would have freaking won. Would have been tremendous. But apparently he's like kind of good. It sucks.
Who do you want to see him fight next?
I think probably, my wife and I were just kind of discussing this a little bit. I don't even know why it came up, but I think George, Nate, or Connor are the fights for him.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're all kind of, I guess it was known for their striking. Like, that's the better part of their mixed martial arts. I was almost exclusively wrestling and grappling. Tyron, relied on wrestling quite a bit. Obviously, he still struck a decent amount, but there was a wrestling background, and those three kind of stink at wrestling. And they're all primarily strikers. I think it would make a lot of sense. But I don't know. I think all three of those guys will have a little too much ego to say yes. Because like, if I lose to Jake Paul, at least I know I sucked at striking, and I was just hoping he sucked more. I didn't know. I had no idea. I just hope, hey, this dude. Like, I think he's kind of, hopefully he sucks, but I'm not sure type of thing, And but if I lose, it's like, well, I never claimed my striking was good. I kind of knew it wasn't good. I just was hoping he was worse than I was. And with those three, like, striking is part of them, it's part of their ego that, hey, I'm this feared striker. So if they were to lose to him, bro, I don't know if they can recover from that.
It is interesting though that you mentioned 3 MMA fighters. Like, he's a boxer, but yet the biggest fights for him are with the MMA fighters, which I don't disagree with. I don't disagree with at all.
Yeah, we've talked about. I mean, the other one, Anderson Silva, but Anderson Silva looked really good in those boxing fights. So maybe I don't think he takes that one. Well, the thing is with boxing, there's probably less big names than in mixed martial arts, and they're really only at the very top of the division, right? But like, so he would have to go fight kind of a boxing nobody, right. Someone that not a lot of people know, to have someone his equivalent skill level. So yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense for him to fight the mixed martial arts guys.
By the way, 2 last quick things and then I'll let you go. This has been really nice. It's been nice to just shoot the breeze with you here. By the way,
mixed martial arts.
Yes.
What's up?
I had your back on this. I didn't really jump in.
Uh-oh.
You didn't need my help. I had your back on the back and forth with Jamal Hill. If there's one guy who took the heat, it's you. If there's one, I don't know if he knows the history, but if there's one guy who you got knocked out by Masvidal, you were literally tweeting like 10 minutes later and just facing the music. That was weird, right?
Yeah, I just don't think. I think he's not super sharp and just didn't kind of understand. Maybe he wasn't paying attention, but it was just like. And so listen, maybe he's got a totally different experience than me, but he said like people were harassing his family. Like, I don't know. I've never had anyone come up to me and say anything negative in public. Right. Like someone will be like, I walk by someone and then they're like way back 50 feet over there. They're like, Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I roll, like fucking immature kid, but like, it's not like I had anyone show up and say, oh, you suck. I hate you. Or, like that's just never happened to me. It's never happened to my wife. It's never happened to my kids. Like, so maybe I live in a totally different world, but I never seen that. Now listen, on Twitter, different story.
Right.
Instagram, different story. But if that's the case, like, know what you're getting into. Like, yeah, listen, how many times has the freaking George gift been played? And listen, it's not going to stop. Probably for the next 15 years, I'll see that stupid clip.
Right.
It's like, so what do you expect? Like, stop being a baby about it. Like, that's part of
that's the thing. No one has taken the heat that you've taken, and no one has dealt with it and handled it better than you have. So I thought that was completely off base. By the way, you know where you could get like none of that heat, none of that hatred. I believe there's you could go on Parler, and it's just I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I was just kidding. But the book, when's it coming out?
I think it's October. So they said they did this pre-sale. Listen, so they're the booksellers, not me, right? And they
who's
said
it coming out with?
Thing. I said, listen, what?
Like, who's the publisher?
Permuted Press.
Okay.
If I would have not known that would have been bad. I almost like blank for a second.
I'm sorry.
I got like hundreds of books over here. I never pre-ordered a book in my life. So when they said, hey, we're gonna do this pre-order, I'm like, oh, cool. When does it come out? And they're like, October. I'm like, well, who would order that? Like, why are you gonna order a book in March if it doesn't come out until October? They're like, this is what we do. I'm like, all right, that's what you do. Okay. All right.
Wait, so it's out right now?
Yes.
The pre-order?
The pre-order's out. I put it up yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. Is it like inappropriate? I think a mutual friend.
So my wife made me take out probably 70% of the F words. But
you shouldn't have let her read it.
It was good. Well, so, okay, listen, just to be upfront, I guess I had a co-writer, right? And
are you allowed to say who it is?
I'm not. I don't know. You know him, obviously. Yeah. I don't even know if you know. You may know who it is.
I do.
But I can't because of one of his other contractual obligations or something.
Oh, this is crazy.
So you know what happened? He came here. We stayed 4 days together. We kind of like talked through everything. And then he would write the chapter. I would read it. We would get on do an hour Zoom call and kind of go through it. And then, after it's done, I reread it and we kind of got a Zoom, and so this is how we would do it.
Okay.
But he did such a good job. And I really feel like for the most part, he kind of captured who I am and did a really good job at that. But my wife was just like, no, too many F words. Too many F words. I'm like, Amy, we're not taking out all the F words because it is in my vocabulary.
Yes.
And in this sentence, it makes perfect sense. So we're freaking leaving it. So there's some of those, but not too many.
And it's about the whole life. Everything?
Yeah.
Or is it just about a slice of your life? Sometimes people do that.
My whole life.
Okay. When does it end?
My whole life. Unfortunately, the epilogue is the Jake Paul fight. Started it.
You could have taken that out.
Started it way before then. You know what? We did it. He did a very good job. So I got on the Zoom. We talked about it. He did a really good job capturing the emotion I felt about it. It's unfortunate it has to be in there, but listen, it's part of my life. I just told my wife, it's like, I wish there was a different outcome. But when you do things in life, you don't always know what the outcome is going to be. And if you choose to do something, if you choose not to do something because you don't know the outcome, you're a coward. And it's like, hey, the guy wanted to fight me. They want to pay me money. I thought it was going to be fun. I was hoping he sucked, way worse than he did.
Right.
Unfortunately, he didn't. I did crack him one time. Wouldn't have been so awesome if he would have fell down. And I'm like, that would have been great.
Oh man. All right. So I'm gonna pre-order this book now.
World hero.
Yeah. I didn't know it was out. Amazon?
Yesterday. Amazon and I think Barnes and Noble, and it's good.
This is great.
He did a really good job with it. It's for me, it was fun. It was fun to read, even though I kind of knew what was going on. It's
sure.
Well written.
Your life.
Yeah. Hey, listen, but you know what else you need to read? Because I cannot stress this enough. This is so important, Errol. You need to read the Bitcoin Standard.
Oh, here we go.
Because it talks a lot about, it will just kind of you will feel like you understand the world a little better when you understand how money is created. What is money? Most people, when I say what is money, most people can't get a real accurate description of what is money and how is it supposed to interact with you in your life and what is it supposed to be for us, right? And money is not supposed to be a political apparatus for the government to control us. Money is supposed to be a way for me and you to exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exchange something because say I have apples and you got eggs, but I don't want eggs and you want some of my apples, right? Because that's in the very beginning, it was a barter system. We bartered with each other.
Sure.
And then, over the course of history, there was a lot of different things that became money and they weren't good money because they weren't scarce, for example, is a great example of, but now fiat currencies, which are controlled by the government, they're essentially used for the government to control you. And honestly, a lot of them are used to say finance wars because, if we voted on the government said, hey, we're going to be in Iraq and Afghanistan for 20 years. Y'all cool with that? You want to pay trillions of dollars for this? We'd probably say, nah, not. How about we don't do that because it's going to cost $3 trillion, and we would have voted it down. But if they got this Federal Reserve where they can just keep printing and printing and printing as much as they want to do whatever they want, then it makes it essentially a political apparatus. And we don't want that. We want money just to be money as a way for you and I to exchange.
Okay. So
that's it. That's all it should be. And no one should be able to tell us, you and I, that we can't exchange. If you and I agree as adults to exchange something, we should be able to exchange something.
Well, listen,
it's really
Ben,
that simple. And
as an American myself, I believe in freedom. I believe in apple pie.
But America doesn't believe in freedom as much as Bitcoin believes in freedom.
I believe in apple pie. I believe in Uncle Sam, even though we don't like, you have to pay him all the time. It's coming up, actually. I believe in all these things. Social Security. Yes. I believe in all those things. The red, white, and blue.
That's a scam. You're never going to get it.
Okay. All right.
By the time you get there. I mean, come on, Errol. You're freaking how many years from retirement? You think Social Security could be there in 20?
These are the things they told me about yesterday.
Years?
I had to do, I pledge allegiance to the flag. I had to do the whole thing yesterday. It was a real fun time.
Listen. But man, you need to have a different savings device because Social Security ain't gonna be there in 26 years for you and I. Unfortunately, I'm a little further. I think I'm what 29 years away. Yeah, sounds about right. I think 66 is when you get it.
Right? I thought it was 60.
65.
Yeah, 65.
I don't know, somewhere in there. It ain't gonna be there. You need something better. You need to read the Bitcoin Standard. It'll take you. It won't take you long. It'll take you like 3 hours. You'll be like, poof. My eyes are open to the way the world works. The Federal Reserve just print money to do whatever the hell they want. They're using it as political weaponry.
All right, Ben.
I don't like that. We just want to wait for you and I to exchange.
Yes, that's it. That's all we want. This has been fun. We want
our currency not to be devalued because, the ruble's been devalued by 50%. So just regular Russian citizens, they had $100. Now they got 50. That freaking sucks.
That does suck.
It's happened in a lot of
bottom line,
this year too.
War sucks. War sucks for all involved. That's my big takeaway from all of this. This has been a lot of fun. Let's not wait a year to do it again, okay?
Let's do it again. Maybe when my book actually comes out, we'll do it.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. All the best. There he is, Ben Askren.
See ya.
He's an author. He's a Bitcoin aficionado. He's a lot of things.